So we've got to have people who have the courage to stand up from political pressure. And a lot of people bit the dust in 2006, even in 2002, and still later, until 2006 when there was an awareness. This is not a cut and run. It is a deliberate way, and not only including the military portion, but looking at the broader aspects of the climate, the whole environment. You may be surprised to know that there is a Pentagon study that says global warming is a national security threat. That's the Pentagon that says that. They take a broad view, just like this study has. So I am very proud to have my name on it, and I compliment the people who have endorsed it. If you want to get into specific details as time permits, I would be very happy to answer questions.
I opposed our involvement in Iraq from the beginning. It's proven to be as big of a military and political disaster as we imagined it would. We need to end the war and bring our troops home. And if I was a member of Congress, I'd be voting for that. And I think in particular, after the next election, I unfortunately feel that this administration is not going to end the war until this election cycle is over. And whether it's John McCain in the White House or a Democrat, we're going to need a very strong Congress that stands up and says we should lose no more lives over there and we should spend no more money, period.
It is not technical skills that's keeping the Iraqi army and police from performing. It's motivation and loyalty. That's the real problem. And U.S. advisors, they're not going to cure that. So if you want timetables to have them out without 6 months, I would not endorse that. And I don't think Shelley would. I think she would sit down with the military people once she's in office. She bases this, and we do, on current situations and the best advice we have now. If, when you're in office, as Obama has said, if the Joint Chiefs of Staff sit down with me and say you need to stretch this out or move it up quicker, obviously I will listen to them. As a military man, I would advise her to do the same thing. And that's the reason we didn't put these. It's politically, people want to say pull them out right now. You can't do that. And I think she agrees with that. What is a deliberate way of getting them out and using the purse strings? Congress has a constitutional right and duty to withdraw funds when something is not being done the way they think it should be done. Now that is a propaganda issue. They will say you're going to cut the boots from out under the troops. They don't say that. They say we will withhold funds for future operations. But it's played that way on the fears of people. If you go back to a year ago when they were talking about the supplemental bill, and I appeared with Senator Harry Reid to explain that, it is not immediately to cut it off. And that's the best answer I can give to that.
Yeah, and I apologize if there's any confusion, I guess, having talked about this so many times. I mean, most people agree that it takes a month to 45 days to remove a brigade. So if you're talking somewhere between 15 and 19 brigades, depending on its post-surge or, right now, there's no way you could, when you say start removing the troops now, you can't do it overnight, just physically remove them. But people want to know that once you start, you're planning on removing the troops.
I get two major things. And they're the first two major recommendations of the Baker-Hamilton group. Initiate an aggressive diplomatic effort to get regional countries, the United Nations, and NATO involved in owning it. Condoleezza Rice is over there trying to do that now, about 6 years too late. Secondly, it withdraw U.S. combat forces in a responsible, time-phased way. Those are the two things that we tried to put in there. Those are the major things to get out of Iraq. Withdraw combat force. That's exactly what the Baker-Hamilton study group recommended in December 2006. Withdraw U.S. combat forces. They're not effective there. The longer they're there, the worse the problem is going to be. So those are the two major elements. And then you say, treat the other environmental world problems that are contributing to this. And that's kind of fluffy for a lot of people, but very important. But those two things is what we tried to put in there.